Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Alina Tariq. The headlines: Prime Minister says making Pakistan a welfare state and elevating the weaker segments of the society is biggest challenge for the government. Minister for Planning says pace of implementation on CPEC projects would be further accelerated. Pakistan has reaffirmed to play its positive role to reduce tensions in the region. China's highest scientific award was conferred on renowned Pakistani scientist Dr. Atar Rahman in Beijing today. UN General Assembly has approved budget of its military observer mission in India and Pakistan despite Indian opposition. US President says Phase 1 trade deal with China would be signed on Wednesday. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Imran Khan says making Pakistan a welfare state and elevating the weaker segments of the society is the biggest challenge for the government. Addressing the inauguration ceremony in Azakhil Dry Port in Nowshera today, he said SR's program started by the incumbent government at a cost of 190 billion rupees is a major step towards helping the downtrodden of the country. The Prime Minister said under the banner of SR, scholarships for undergraduate students, shelter homes and other schemes have been started as part of the commitment of the government to support the people who are less fortunate. He said health insaf cards introduced by PTI government will ensure public health facility without any financial burden on families. Imran Khan said under Naya Pakistan housing scheme, 5 million houses are being constructed for people in middle and lower income backgrounds. He said package has been given to Utility Stores Corporation in order to reduce burden of inflation on working and middle class. He said this year, policies will be made to give jobs to our youth and will help the poor people through SR's program. Minister for Planning Asad Umar has said satisfaction at the progress of the various projects under China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. Talking to Chinese ambassador in Islamabad, he said the pace of implementation on CPEC projects will be further accelerated. The minister said establishment and operationalization of the Special Economic Zone is currently the top priority. He said these zones would enable setting up of joint ventures in manufacturing, which would integrate the enterprises from both sides. Asad Umar also underlined the need to expand collaboration in agriculture sector, which is extremely important for Pakistan's economy. The ambassador said Chinese side is keen to promote relationships with businesses and manufacturing industries of Pakistan. Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi has reaffirmed that Pakistan will play its role to reduce tension in the region. Talking to newly appointed Iranian ambassador to Pakistan, Sayyid Muhammad Ali Husseini in Islamabad today, he said growing tensions do not benefit anyone in the region. The foreign minister said he is in touch with his counterparts of the region on the special direction of Prime Minister Imran Khan. He will be visiting Iran and other countries very soon. He said Pakistan has long-standing historical relations and multilateral relations with Iran. The Iranian ambassador thanked the foreign minister and assured he will use all his efforts to further expand bilateral relations between the two countries. National Assembly today has passed Zainab Alert Response and Recovery Bill 2019. Moved by the Minister of Human Rights, Shiri Mizari, the bill envisages establishment of Zainab Alert Response and Recovery Agencies, where child missing cases will be reported and it will generate an automatic alert. The bill will also envisage strict punishments for those involved in abduction and abuse of child. Trials under this bill will be concluded in 3 months' time. Senate today passed the Federal Government Employees Housing Authority Bill 2019. It was moved by the Minister of Housing and Works, Chaudhry Tariq Bashir Cheema. Renowned Pakistani scientist Dr. Atar Rahman has been awarded China International Science and Technology Corporation Award for the year 2020, which is the highest scientific award of China. The award was conferred on him by the President of China in the Great People's Hall in Beijing today. Dr. Atar Rahman has received this award in recognition of his contributions in the field of chemistry and numerous strong collaborations that he has developed with China in the fields of organic chemistry, genetics, pharmacology, agriculture sciences, virology, nanotechnology, and other emerging areas. This is Radio Pakistan. Despite India's effort to curtail funding for United Nations military observer mission in India and Pakistan, which monitors line of control in disputed Kashmir region, and the General Assembly has approved a complete budget line for the peacekeeping unit. During the negotiations in the Assembly's Fifth Committee, which deals with economic and financial matters, the Pakistani delegation succeeded in thwarting India's concreted attempts to minimize the budget for UNMOGIP. India also failed in seeking and abolish the seat in the UMIGP Srinagar wing, which has been vacant for last 2 years. The recruitment delay for the seat was caused by lack of Indian visa. Indian Supreme Court has asked the Modi government to review its action in occupied Kashmir within 7 days, as these are unjustifiable. Pronouncing its verdict today on pleas filed against restrictions in the territory, the court termed Indian government's restrictive orders in occupied Kashmir as abuse of power. The court ordered for immediate restoration of internet for essential services like health and education, and said that the right to internet access is the fundamental right under the constitution and its suspension is unconstitutional. Delhi-based newspaper The Indian Express says countrywide protests against the controversial citizenship law are red alert to the destruction and compromise on democratic values by the BJP government. In an article, the paper writes that despite government's brutal crackdown on demonstrations, youth have fearlessly challenged the Citizenship Amendment Act, National Register of Citizens and National Population Register. The paper says controversial actions by Modi government are aimed at further the RSS agenda of intimidating any opposition through violence and target. US President Donald Trump has announced the Phase 1 trade deal with China would be signed on Wednesday. In an interview with the ABC TV, he said it will be a big trade deal with China. Meanwhile, China's Commerce Ministry spokesman said in a statement that Chinese Vice Premier, head of the country's negotiation team in Sino-US trade talks, will sign the deal in Washington. United Nations has urged for full investigation into crash of a Ukrainian jetliner in Iran. The deputy spokesman for the UN Secretary General, Farhan Haq, said in a statement that International Civil Aviation Organization has received formal notification of the crash. He said a full investigation will be carried out and Iran will submit a preliminary report to the ICAO within a month after the crash. Russia has announced ceasefire deal with Turkey in Syria's Idlib province. The deal paves the way for a halt continued in fighting the province and also allows delivery of humanitarian aid. And finally, the weather. Despite rain with snowfall over hills, it is expected in all district areas of Balochistan, while isolated places in Upper Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan during next 12 hours. However, cold and dry weather with cloudy condition is expected in other parts of the country, while very cold in northern parts. And that is the end of the news. To hear, there's some headlines. Prime Minister says making Pakistan a welfare state and elevating the weaker segments of the society is the biggest challenge for the government. Minister for Planning says pace of implementation on CPAC projects would be further accelerated. Has reaffirmed to play its positive role to reduce tension in the region. China's highest scientific award was conferred on renowned Pakistani scientist Dr. Atar Rahman in Beijing today. UN General Assembly has approved budget for its military observer mission in India and Pakistan despite Indian opposition. US President says Phase 1 trade deal with China would be signed on Wednesday. And that is the end of the news. For more news and analyses, log on to our website radio.gov.pk and also watch live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.